And James Gunn recently talked about the fate of Batman 2 and Wonder Woman. Stay tuned for updates after the intro. Hello, Pop Culture Society, we're back. James Gunn is always active on the internet. James Gunn, ever since he was just a director, has always been on social media, always commenting, always interacting with the public, even back in those tough times when they found that harsh tweet of his. He disappeared for a while, but then he came back. And James Gunn is a guy who stayed that way after he took over. The role of Chief Executive Officer of Detective Comics Studios, which is developing all the projects involving Detective Comics properties for movies and streaming right now. And two characters who were considered the most important, the studio's spearheads, which are Wonder Woman and Batman, and Superman and Supergirl, who already have movies. Wonder Woman and Batman are on hold. Batman, because there's another Batman Elseworld project led by Matt Reeves, and it's having development problems. And Wonder Woman, for which we have nothing except a streaming series prequel. And they went to ask James Francis Gunn Jr. on social media. Come sunset, we'll have it soon. Some positive news about Batman Part 2, the one by Matt Reeves, and James Gunn simply laconically said yes. Yes, at least he's admitting that there will be good news coming, encouraging news, and not, for example, news of a cancellation, which I don't think will happen. The fact that Matt Reeves didn't appear in the film's production description. In Production Weekly, which listed Batman Part 2 as in production, there was no director mentioned. Involved could mean that Matt Reeves won't direct Batman Part 2, and that's okay if he doesn't direct Batman Part 2. He didn't direct the Penguin series, and the Penguin series was within the universe and continued that universe. The universe is created, the sandbox is set up. Any director can play in it, though Matt Reeves would be better because he would keep the same pace he had. But if it's another director, I don't think there's a problem. I think it's harder for Batman Part 2 to be canceled than for Matthew Reeves not to be directing it. So Batman Part 2 is going to happen. It might even take a while. It might even be delayed. The Brave and the Bold, which is James Gunn's Batman project within his own universe. And I think they're waiting for this Batman to finish his trilogy or his two movies or however many were contracted so they can work on another Batman later and not have two Batmans in development at the same time. Even though they're very different versions of the two characters. Notice that the Superman movie only started filming when the Superman and Lois series went off the air. Exactly, so there wouldn't be two Superman at the same time. And to avoid comparisons, to avoid confusing the audience and things like that. So Batman Part 2 will have news. Soon, yes. Okay, great. And Wonder Woman? He replied that Wonder Woman will also have encouraging news. Good news soon. It's just not the time for that. It's just not the ideal moment to reveal it. And then we can interpret this in a few ways. The first thing that comes to my mind is Superman. There's a Superman movie coming out in a month. All the focus, all the attention, and all the conversations have to be about Superman because it's a movie, as I keep repeating here on the channel, that's essential for the survival of James Gunn's plans the way he's planning them. James Gunn needs Superman to be a success with both the audience and the critics. Not necessarily, I'll repeat, a box office phenomenon. This movie doesn't need to make $1 billion, but it also can't lose money. If it makes a reasonable, good box office, the job is done. What this movie needs is to generate interest for new films. Generate interest for sequels, for spin-offs, for the continuation of this plan. If Superman gets destroyed by the critics, or if the audience complains a lot, and not just Snyder's fans, because they will complain anyway, this whole project could start to suffer a lot of interventions from the famous, the infamous, the notorious executives of the moment. And that's when things get tough. The DC Universe restarted, putting Batman vs. Superman in the next film and continuing that trend. They rushed the Justice League, and you already know how that story ends. So the time to announce Wonder Woman isn't now, even if he has a script ready, even if he has a director in mind, or hired, even if he has an actress, even if he has the perfect actress that he's already talked to, that he's already closed the deal with, that he already has everything planned out to launch Wonder Woman. No one will talk about Wonder Woman and Batman or Supergirl before the premiere of Superman. After the premiere of Superman, once the initial weeks and the critical second weekend pass, we can observe the film's performance. The drop. That's when it's time to talk about new projects, to confirm projects that were announced. 2 years ago, Paradise Lost could have been announced. That Wonder Woman project might be Paradise Lost, which is finally starting to be produced. It will have a date and an outcome. How will Green Lanterns turn out? Projects that haven't even started, also Swamp Thing, Booster Gold, are they still going to happen? And new projects, those titans there, which there are rumors are being written. How is that going to turn out? Clayface, which is about to start production, but so far, the last news we had was that they're rewriting the script. Sergeant Rock has already been canceled. So after Superman, we'll have a clearer vision of the future. They're going to start marketing a lot and talking a lot about Supergirl, which has already been filmed. It's already in post-production. There's going to be a Comic-Con in July. There's going to be a Comic-Con in July. And James Gunn likes Comic-Con. He'll be there. Thinking optimistically, celebrating Superman's good results, and announcing Supergirl. Suddenly, a panel with Emilia Cox. Suddenly, a panel with Momoa. Suddenly, something about Supergirl is already shown. Maybe even an official image. Or even a teaser. And he's going to talk about these new projects. It could be a Wonder Woman movie. Yes, it could be the Wonder Woman movie. Maybe, if we're talking here once again positively, with the success of Superman, it might encourage James Gunn to shake things up more, and there might not only be a Wonder Woman project, but it could even be Paradise Lost, which is the prequel to Wonder Woman, the story of the Amazons. Maybe he wants to tell that story before introducing Wonder Woman. Alright, and he announces that the series will be made. The cast, right, because there's Hippolyta, for example, and so on. Well, it could also be that the timing isn't ideal because there might be a problem with the rights to Wonder Woman, with the licensing of Wonder Woman for movies, which could still be with other studios and not at home, so to speak. Gal Gadot was Wonder Woman before Patty Jenkins directed. Patty Jenkins had the third movie in mind, this third movie that was canceled. She even had the script already delivered and the movie was scrapped. Stuff for the introduction of the DC Universe, and it even caused that backstage drama that we always remember here when Patty Jenkins sent the character arc entry to James Gunn and left on bad terms. Maybe the rights to Wonder Woman are still protected by this licensing and can't be used. He can't use Wonder Woman in the next few years, so it's not the time to announce it, but he already has an idea of what to do. Alright, that's also an explanation. Very plausible for what might be happening. But if everything goes well, maybe a Wonder Woman announcement could happen at Comic-Con. The Wonder Woman video game is already in the works, you know. Maybe we'll get an announcement like that at Comic-Con, and it could be a good thing. And the Batman 2 as well, who knows? Maybe an announcement, finally a date, an announcement about the start of... Now is not the time to discuss a DDC. The focus should be on promoting Superman and encouraging people to buy tickets and pre-sale tickets for the film. After that, there will be Comic-Con to see what unfolds. Are you excited about this news, or does it seem like James Gunn is just going through the motions? Write in the comments. I'll return with more pop culture topics soon after channel options will appear to stay with me longer. See you later soon in a bit. Bye. For watching.